Hi, my name is Guy Hancock, and I'm an instructor of computer technology at Ultimate Medical Academy. I'm here to help you learn more about using computers to be effective and efficient at whatever you're doing. So let's get started. Let's take a look in this video on the Review tab, which is up here in the menu on Word. So I have clicked on that tab, and we'll just go through some of the things you can see. So the first thing is the editor, and that's going to do spell and grammar and other kinds of checking. So I clicked on that. It's going to go through my document, and it didn't find any spelling or grammar errors. For refinements, it suggests one for conciseness. If I click on that, you'll see what this is. And this sentence says, think about the kinds of business documents you see on a daily basis. And really, you don't need all these words. You could change this to documents you see daily, and it says the same thing. So that's the conciseness. And so they offer the choice right here. So I can just click on this, and that will fix it. And so that's what the editor does. And the thesaurus helps you find words that have similar meanings to a word that you've picked. And word count gives you more details. The word count's actually at the bottom of the screen down here in the taskbar. But you can do more details with the word count. The read aloud will read using the computer speaking, but you can't hear it because I can only record my narration or the computer, but not both. Translate will actually translate your document or a selection in the document to another language. And the language button here is important because under this one is the set proofing language. If I click on that, there's a checkbox down here that says do not check spelling or grammar, and you want to not have that checked. If you check that box, then Word will ignore the spelling and grammar errors. With it unchecked, it will highlight those for you, much like it did the conciseness that had the dotted underline. A misspelled word has a wavy red underline, and grammar errors have a double blue underline. And when you right-click on those, you can select a correction to insert. I'm going to click on the comment here, and let's put that comment down here. So when you add comments to the document, what it does is it gives you a sidebar where you can add some things for other people looking at the document to consider. So I've added a little comment here, and you can go from comment to comment using these. Go back here. I just have to shrink this a little bit so you can see it. I want you to be able to see the text clearly. So that's what comments are. And this is very useful when you're sharing a document that several of you are revising, and you want to see what each person has put in as their thoughts. Now, to get a little further into revising with a group of editors is the track changes. So I'm going to put on track changes. And so that turns on this feature. And now what I want to do is I want to revise this sentence. And I'm going to add a different sentence. So bear with me while I type that, because I can't type and talk at the same time very well. So I've added a different prompt here. And, so this is what the document looks like with that track changes turned on and with showing all the markup. Now I can do simple markup, and that just shows a red line over here. It doesn't show the original. You can show all markup again, and I thought that was going to show that I made that. But anyway, this track changes. Now, if I sent this to someone else and they added changes, they would see those probably in a different color. And this may just have not added that because I already had a comment in here. That may be the reason. So you can circulate a document or put it on a drive where you can share it, and different people who have editing privileges can go in and make their suggestions, and you can look at it without any of the markup, so you only see the version that has all the changes in it, and then you can go through and accept or not accept each change, or you can accept them all at once and turn off tracking. So you can also do the reject changes. So that's a very useful feature when you have multiple people trying to create a document that's better than the original or just a new version of a document. Some other features here on the Review tab include the compare. So you can compare two documents to see what the differences are. You can also combine documents from different people into a single document. So you can use these features to work collaboratively with team members. These block authors and restrict editing have to do with the same thing about letting other people edit a document that you're sharing. The next section over here is ink. And ink refers to the things that are on the Draw tab. The Draw tab may not be in your ribbon unless you add it. We could talk about that. How do you add? So to add something to your commands, you would go to the File, down here to Options, and the Customize Ribbon option. And so what you can do is search through this group on the left for commands that are not in the ribbon, and then add them over here. If you select one, you can click Add and decide where that should go. You can make it a new tab. You can make it a new group on a tab. And when you're all finished with that, you say, okay, so there are a lot of commands in here. The idea is to have the ribbon have enough commands on it to do your work, but not so many that you can't find the commands that you use regularly. And many of those that are not in here are very specialized for certain things. If you don't ever do those, you won't need them. So the Draw tab has these drawing tools that will allow you to erase, to highlight, mark with things. So I've selected the colored highlighter here, and so if I wanted to go down here, I could highlight. No, I guess I didn't. Try that again. Yeah, there we go. It's interesting. I didn't realize I was highlighting in gray. I thought I'd selected yellow. In any case, that's what these do. The draw, you can draw lines on the document. So to get back to the Review tab, if we go over here and look at the ink, you have an option to hide the ink. So that just takes it off of there. You can delete all the ink and get rid of it as well. And then the last tab on the menu here, command, is the Resume Assistant. And this is not a resume. And click on that again. There we go. So here's the resume assistant. This is not a resume, so it's going to have trouble, but it helps you, guide you through either creating or revising your resume. And it's powered by LinkedIn. I have not ever used it, and there are also resume templates in case you might want to use one of those. You can click on File and go to New, and if I type in resume, it will find a bunch of resume templates. And so what you would do is, to use one of these, is you just click on it, download it to your computer, and then replace the placeholder text that's in it in the pictures with your own picture and text. So I just wanted to cover all those different parts of the Review tab. And while we're on this one, we might as well take a look at the View tab. So let's click on that. And so there are several different views over here. The print layout is the one you work in most of the time. There's a read mode, which hides a lot of stuff, hides the commands that could be distracting. There's a web layout, which would show you how this looks on a web page. The outline is probably one of the ones that is overlooked more often. So the Outline tab allows you to create an outline, and you can adjust the different parts of the outline. So let's say I want to adjust this. I'll move it in, and I'll move this one back out. So it makes an outline, and you might, instead of starting with what I did, start with the outline, and you put in your headings and your subheadings, and then you'd switch out of the outline view and go back to the print layout view to actually start filling in the text under each of your headings and subheadings. So it's a way to organize your documents. You can drag these as well as use the commands up here on the tab, and you can drag them up. You can undo that if you don't like it. So drag these headings and subheadings around until you like the order and arrangement and you're satisfied with that. And then you just close the outline view and you're back to the print layout view. Some other things on the View tab are the focus mode, which eliminates distractions, kind of like the read mode. The immersive reader, which reads to you. You can look at your pages either as a vertical page where you scroll, or you can look at it side by side. So if you have a monitor that's especially wide, you might look at the side by side and see two pages at once. You have checkboxes for the ruler, the grid lines, which I did not have turned on, and the navigation pane, which is over on the side. So you can have those. You've got your zoom commands. Again, more one page, multiple pages. And you can have a split window. So if you have a really long document, you can have one part of the document in the top of your window and another part of the document in the bottom. So you can scroll independently in those two. On here you also have macros, so you can view your macros. Now what a macro is a series of steps. So let's say I wanted to record a macro, and those are on the developer tab to record a macro. Again, not one that's normally in your ribbon, you'd have to add that. But let's say I wanted to click on this, and I wanted to change the font color to orange and make it, it's already bold, but I want to make it italic and make it larger. And then I would end the macro. So now I can run that macro. If I selected some text and ran that macro, it would perform that whole series of steps on the text that was selected. So you can create your own macros by recording them. You can also get documents that have macros in them. Those can be a slight risk for viruses, so probably you know, not download documents that have macros in them unless you really expect to use them. Well, hi again. Thanks for watching. I hope this was a good review of things that you already knew how to do and that you learned some new things. And happy computing.